the number 7. I hope you guys are enjoying this little series. I'm going to do 1 through 9, and then we're going to get the rest of it is the double digits, which get reduced down into single digits, and we're going to be finishing out the major arcana in this series, and then we'll get into the numerology chart numbers after that. 7 seeks answers. It tries to establish a philosophy by which to live and attempts to penetrate the mystery behind its existence, which it has never questioned to this point. Because solitude is necessary for analysis, the 7 feels the need to spend time alone, away from the crowds, in touch with nature. It looks for a friendship with those of an elevated consciousness that can match its own. And we are in a 7-year 2023. So this this number 7 here is gonna bring up a lot of the energies that we will be experiencing as a collective during this year. For example, we're going to be wanting to spend more time in nature as a collective. We are going to be wanting to seek friendships of people on higher vibrations and that are on a higher conscious level. We're going to be wanting to dive deep into our own existence and sort of question our reality and really look into these deeper answers of life. For instance, looking into this series that we're doing, like, let's look into these numbers and these tarot cards and see what it's all about. And we're all going to be coming to the realization that the tarot is, and numerology as well, it's our coding, and it is a representation of our life and the way that this matrix is coded and the way that God created everything. And the tarot is literally a journey. It's a representation of our journey through our incarnations. And so a lot of people say tarot's evil and demonic, and these people are ignorant, and this really is just deeper occult, which means hidden esoteric wisdom that some just aren't ready for, and some are they're not at that part in their journey yet, and that's okay. But this year you will see many more people awakening and coming to these realizations and really looking into themselves and looking into the occult studies, whether they're Christian or religious or whatever. You're going to look around and notice that everyone's sort of hopping on the same wavelength, and that's because this is a 7-year. Let's see. On the 7th day, God rested, and all things rest under the 7, because time is needed in which to think. The ions under 7 feel poised and calm. They realize that they now need to be still and know. They now realize that they need to be still and know. They have established a routine for their energy, and now analysis begins. 7 ushers into the cycle of physical completion without apparent effort. Goals that have been long sought are now magically attained. Spare time is available in which philosophical and metaphysical interests can be pursued. Perfected thinking is the goal of 7, which is why it's called the sacred number. It's also why scientists, philosophers, teachers, mystics, and the clergy come under this influence. The physical facet of 7 also relates to the health of the body, which is highly sensitized through this vibration. Keywords: quiet, introspective, intuitive, analytical, inspirational, reclusive, philosophical, and mystical. 7 as a personal vibration. You are a dreamer and a philosopher, and your destiny is your mind. You are attracted to the mystical side of life. Your clairvoyant and psychic abilities are marked, and you will develop the intuitive and introspective side of your personality. Often, your psychic hunches will foretell future events. If you develop your psychic gift, you can use it for the benefit of others. Realizing that you must leave behind the desires of the material world, you turn to the world of mind and thought. There, you learn to enclose yourself behind secret walls, where your creative imagination roams freely. Poetry and music lift your spirits and transport you to other spaces. Your self-imposed periods of isolation make you something of an enigma even to yourself. You're often called a loner, and no one really knows you. Of all the numbers, you could most easily remain single, and in fact, many sevens live as hermits or recluses when it comes to carrying out your own ideas. You can be very determined. As a rule, orthodox religious beliefs do not offer you enough spiritual substance. Therefore, you will search for your own individual belief system. However, some sevens stay with their church and rise to positions of great power. Pythagoras considered 7 to be the most sacred of all numbers, and his students took their vows or obligations by the number 7. In ancient days, a child born under the number 7 was immediately placed in the temple to become a priest or priestess. Today, 7s are found in the higher echelons of the church as leaders in many mystical circles. They gain spiritual realization and become masters. Spirit, like, yo, you were born at 11:14, that's a 7. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to read. You are a perceptive person who understands human nature. When you meet someone, you're not often fooled by their outer personality, but seem to scan their inner motives at once. Sometimes you make people uneasy with your ability to see right through them. Thoughts are words of the mind, and you become close friends with words, since you understand their protective, preserving, and influential power. Your cultured, studious nature is enhanced and broadened by change and travel, which you love. Your mind eagerly absorbs the information you derive from contact with foreign lands and cultures. You prefer living in the country rather than in the city. In the country, you can lead a leisurely life in a dignified and conservative atmosphere. You have a retiring nature, and in that environment, you can experience the periods of quiet contemplation that are necessary for your mental development. The fastidiousness of your dress is unique. You would never wear someone else's clothes, nor would you let anyone else wear yours. You seem to be innately aware that all people have their own distinct vibrations, which are transmuted to anything they touch. You are methodical in keeping with the rhythm of the 7, which rules periodicity. Sorry about that, y'all. In nature. Although you have good business ideas, you should not enter into the business field because you seldom carry out the ideas. Unselfishness, compassion, and dedication are qualities you should develop. You have an idea of what the world should be. When the world does not conform to your ideal, you may become frustrated and depressed. Generally, you dislike advice, and others find it hard to convince you of things because your mind is so individualistic. A negative 7 is gloomy. Your disappointment in the outer world drives you to a lonely existence where you become a hermit or a recluse and shut out the people who cannot live up to your ideals. However, by using your will and gaining control of your tremendous mental powers, you can be a vehicle for good in the world that desperately needs what you have to offer, a sound, creative mind. 7 as a temporary vibration, reflection, rest, health, vacations. It is time to rest. God rested on the 7th day, and this is your 7th day. Become quiet and receptive. Think about yourself and your station in life. Analyze your goals, projects, and relationships. Spend some time by yourself and listen to your inner promptings. Write down your thoughts. You can be inspired by dreams, visions, and intuitions now. Therefore, any writings you produce can be creatively moving. Use the energies of this period for mental exercise and discipline. Now you can master technical skills to aid in your profession or benefit from philosophical and metaphysical disciplines including religion, yoga, transcendental meditation, astrology, and numerology. All things of which are going to be coming in hot this year. Religion, it's going to be changing drastically, and you're going to see a lot of people getting into astrology, yoga, meditation, numerology, right? Do not push your financial affairs under a 7. This is not the time to be impulsive or concern yourself with business. It's a time of physical completion and attainment in the cycles because you can see the consequences of your previous efforts. Matters mysteriously complete themselves without any effort on your part. Wait and let the cycle work for you. The number 7 rules the physical body and function and bodily functions. Therefore, the forces within your body are now active. You must pace yourself wisely, rest, and take care of minor problems. Abuse and overexertion can bring on physical maladies and illnesses. These discomforts force you to slow down so that you will take the time to reflect upon yourself and your purpose in life, which is the most important reason for this cycle. Vacations are always pleasant, and now is a good time to take one. Be careful when signing any documents or legal agreements. Check every word and look for the loopholes. When you've thoroughly scrutinized all aspects, sign with confidence. You will not feel the need to socialize at this time. Rather, you prefer either to be alone or to be with people of a spiritual nature who complement and uplift your contemplative mood. Do not fight your inner urgings to rest, for that will only bring on physical problems and frustration. Instead, flow with this and look deeply within yourself to discover the beautiful facets of your true inner self, the perfect jewel. Tarot symbolism, key number 7, the Chariot. Wow, my ear just started ringing so hard. It's snowing so hard outside. The Chariot represents receptivity to the will of the one source. The keyword attributed to this card is fence or enclosure, and its sense function is speech. Every word we speak is a fence enclosing an idea or thought. An eloquent vocabulary is a powerful tool for protection and preservation, as well as advancement. When we speak, we set in motion a vibration that acts upon the ethers, space, and the akasha. Blavatsky said, sound or speech is a tremendous force when it's directed by occult knowledge. It is only when we become still, quiet, and receptive that we can be victorious. Then the primal force can work through us. And that has been something very prominent in the collective readings as of late, you guys. And I'm feeling that being for this whole year. I'm really going to be pushing the collective to really think about their inner dialogue, to really be mindful of it, and to do whatever you can, whether it's listening to subconscious reprogramming, positive affirmations, writing down. It's going to be so important, y'all, to reprogram our minds and to learn the importance of speech, not only internally, because every thought sends out a blip to the ethers and is a physical, tangible thing, even though we can't see it, right? And our words are even more powerful, and the vibration of our voice literally creates magic. Every single word that we speak is a literal spell. And so if we're walking around saying, oh man, I feel so tired today, I don't feel good, any type of negative speech, you're speaking black magic upon you and upon others, especially if you're someone who likes to gossip and you're always talking about other people. You're literally doing black magic on others whenever you gossip. And your words have power. So you are changing another's reality by speaking onto their life or speaking on their existence. And there's consequences. Every single action has an equal and opposite reaction in this reality. So every action, a word, or even a thought being an action. In the Bible, it says if your right eye causes you to sin, tear that thing out, right? And what that means is our thoughts, even if you don't sleep with a woman, right, and you're married, if you're thinking about it, you're committing adultery, and that's because your thoughts are pure power and pure magic, and the heavens, your inner world, your imagination is what literally creates your outer world. So again, I'm going to be very much so advocating positive speech, positive affirmations, positive thoughts, reprogramming our minds. You guys, we've all came into this world. Someone gave you a name, they gave you a religion, they said, this is your gender. This is what you're supposed to do. And not only that, but you were born with a soul, which is an accumulation of memories from your past lives and attachments that you're still holding on to. So you have your own preferences. I'm this, or I'm that, or I don't like this. I love that. And we're here during this incarnation, y'all, to reprogram that, to be still and know that I am God, to truly realize that source, God, Christ, is within every single one of us, and that we have the power and the magic to create our realities. And so if we're looking around and we don't really like what we see, this is not always the easiest thing to hear, right? And I've been there too, and I'm still constantly healing and changing myself, bettering myself, and changing my reality as well. But our realities are created by us. And sources within us, just waiting to be discovered and waiting to be praised, waiting to be exalted, right? So we can create what needs to be created here, rather than what we don't want to see, right? The primal force can work through us. Symbolically, the charioteer is the soul directing the chariot, the body. Notice the charioteer has no reins. It is mentally, through the will, that he directs the sphinxes, the positive and negative senses, to draw the chariot along. The starry canopy overhead indicates that we are recipients of celestial energies. The waxing and waning moons depict time and rhythm, which are stages of the mind. This can be seen by their placement on the shoulders, ruled by Gemini, which is the first air sign, symbolizing the mind. And again, this is why a lot of people think that tarot is evil or demonic. First of all, tarot can be evil and demonic if somebody does not have their kundalini raised and they are not conscious of who and what they truly are, because we all have the demons and the angels, right? The positive and the negative, the light and the dark within us. And when we are in our body consciousness, when we're in the lower three chakras, it is this black energy, the dark energy, that is driving our every action and thought. But we've also been told and programmed to believe that tarot is evil, because the powers that be do not want you to know yourself and the power that you possess as a child of God here in this reality. The starry canopy overhead indicates that we are recipients of celestial energies. The waxing and waning moons depict time and rhythm, which are stages of mind. This can be seen by their placement on the shoulders, ruled by Gemini, which is the first air sign, symbolizing the mind. The winged globe on the cart represents self-consciousness elevated by aspiration. The disc with an upright rod through the center depicts the positive and negative forces joined in a working relationship. The middle path, right? The middle way. The square on the charioteer's breast indicates an orderly attitude, and his 8-paneled skirt decorated with talismans represents the soul's dominion over the material world. The message here is that through control of the senses and elevation and purification of the desires, by the use of our own free will, we can achieve complete dominion while in the physical body. Be still and know, y'all. Meditate. Do breath work. Still your mind. Know thyself. Know thyself, dear ones. Astrological correspondences is the moon and Cancer. The moon has 4 7-day cycles, and since the Earth was created on the 6th day, the moon, a satellite of the Earth, could not have come into manifestation until after the 6th day. With 7 as the end of a physical cycle, we can readily see why the moon is assigned to this number. Cancer, the crab, rules this key, 7. The crab has a fence or shell which protects its soft body from the dangers of the outer world. During a 7 cycle, one is sequestered away from the world in some manner, As a crab, Cancer withdraws into its protective shell to ponder recent experiences and examine them subconsciously. The moon, representing our subconscious. Number 7, people are quiet, introspective, analytical, and very profound. They are thinkers of the world and are usually involved in some scientific, philosophical, or metaphysical pursuit. Alone, they can mentally wander the universe, searching for the shell that will enclose their ideas with form and substance. Chariot being one of my favorite cards, representing that victory, that dominion, that success, having full power, having reign through your will and control of the senses over yourself and this plane. So I hope you enjoyed number 7. We're going to jump into number 8, the strength card, next.